guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be hitting my C401 and we're going to be putting B&B exhaust, 3-inch exhaust with X-pipe on it. It currently has a borla system that's 2 1/4 at one point through the resonator. Very restrictive, very quiet, does not sound good. I don't like it. It's great for cruising, but it's not me. If you know me, I like to be loud, and this is not loud. So we're going to take the B&B exhaust, which what's unique about this exhaust is I have 2 different sets of mufflers for it. I had the original set that they designed for it, which had a lot of drone, but it was the loudest at the time, from my understanding, for the C401. I have a set of those mufflers that'll bolt on to this X-pipe that I have. And I also have a set of the new mufflers. So I've got the newer design and the older design. We're going to compare those and we're going to do performance testing. I'm going to get a baseline test with this, 1/8 mile with draggy. And then after we get done, go and do another test with draggy, see if the car picks up anymore, see if it performs better, see if it sounds better. So I'm kind of excited to finally wrench on this car. The only reason I'm not doing the headers right now, I do have headers, but because they are OBX, which is a Chinese brand, I'm worried about fitment. I have a big trip that's about 20 hours of driving in this car coming up next week. There's a thing called the Zr-1 Summit. It is coming next week. It's where all the Zr-1s gather in Maryland. It is a big, huge event. There's a lot of the original Lingenfelter, Callaway guys that are there, some of the engineers, some of the design people. So I don't want to have any trouble getting this thing to that. So I don't want to risk putting those headers on and having any problem with the O2s or backfiring because the header fitment could be out of whack. So I'm going to play it safe. We're just going to do the catback. We're going to test that for now. And then later I'm going to put the headers on. So let's get started. I've got to get the truck off the lift. Unfortunately, I've got to, all the lifts are full right now. So I'm going to have to do some moving around and then drop this thing on there. We'll get this catback on. Shouldn't take very long. And next up, we're going to have our baseline testing and see how we are in this weather. Last time I went out, it was a 12.8. I'm actually going to do 1/8 mile, so it was a 8.3, 8.4. I'm going to see if I can duplicate that in this heat because it's Georgia heat right now in the summer, so I expect to be a little bit slower. So let's get some baseline testing. We're going to get some after testing. Let me know what you think about the exhaust and how it sounds. All right, so a couple things with this car. My car in particular, these rev over 7,000 RPMs, but my car seems to like 6,500 as a shift point. It was quicker shifting it lower, and I don't know if that means it's intake restricted a little bit or what, but for some reason that's where my car likes to be shifted. So we're going to head to a spot and try to hit it here in just a minute. I'm going to get 2 passes as a baseline, and then we'll get 2 passes when we're done. And you can kind of hear how it sounds from the inside with my mic. And you'll probably be able to hear it afterward. Here we go. Please stop. I'm just going to roll out the throttle. 1, 2, 3. We got it. 861 was my baseline. So now I'm going to do another one. 1, 2, 3. All right, so there we go. We'll see what we got. Right on the windows. All right, so I'll post on the screen 837 and 861, I think. Both of them were about 88 miles an hour, so the mile an hour was the same, and that's in the heat. That's not bad. So she's still running good. I'm going to do an average of those 2, and we'll just use the mile an hour as the big baseline because that's honestly with those 6-speed. That's the biggest thing that you're going to see a difference in if you're going to see any at all, just because there's so many variances in how you launch. So now I'm going to get this truck out. Fortunately, it has no transmission in it right now. Like everything else around my house, I have issues with my transmission on it. So I'm gonna get that truck, pull it out, get the lift freed up until I can get that trans rebuilt, and then we're gonna slide the Zr-1 onto the lift and get started. This shouldn't take long, I don't think.
Overhead cam, talking with its chest, built like a rumor that outlived the rest. You can call it one, call it yesterday, but it never really left. It just learned to stay. C4Zr-1, king of the hill.
See, this exhaust is a little bit on the punier side. I'm gonna hit all the joints up with some PP plaster, let it sit for a minute. You see the underside of this C4 is really nice. I mean, it'll be 35 years old. It doesn't get much better than this, I don't think. Transmission's all clean. There's only one really rusted, and that's this clamp. That's the only thing that's really rusted underneath the whole underside of this car. It's really in good shape. Considering it's 35 years old, this is a very, very nice example in my opinion. So basically we're gonna have our 3 bolts, or 2 here from the clamp. We're gonna have these 2 clamps, and then we're gonna have these hangers. Those 2, a lot of clamps, and then our tops, and we'll be able to pull this cat back down. Like I said, I'm gonna coat her with some PP plaster, let her sit, we'll get started. Okay, so this is kind of perspective of what we're changing to. This is 3-inch all the way through with an X pipe versus this little resonator. See these tiny little pipes, and I think it goes down inside there to like 2 1/4, no joke. I guess it's super restrictive, so it's super quiet. So you see just overall, it's a heavier system obviously because it's bigger, but just better clamps, I think. I like those clamps better. The diameter's better. Everything looks better with this system. So I'll swap this on. I'm gonna start with the louder mufflers, the OGs. Put those on first, see how happy I'm with that, and then maybe swap on the other ones. So we're gonna get to start. I'm gonna start with the front, work my way back. I'll probably go ahead and hook the hex pipe up here, so it's already done, and then I'll hook the rest of the pipes up after the fact. Okay, it's on there. I'm not gonna focus on the tips alignment since I'm swapping this. I'm not gonna go through all the rigmarole. So they are just slightly off, and that's intentional because I'm gonna be swapping the other ones on. There's no sense spending all the time to get it right, but this is basically the setup. You can see it's a lot better. It's pretty sturdy. Hopefully it doesn't rattle or anything. So let's get on the road. I'm gonna test these out, see what it sounds like, and do a quick hit, come back, and then I'll swap the other ones on and see kind of which ones I like better. Well, it's kind of a wash. 8.5 and 8.7 mile an hour, a little better on one pass, a little slower on one. Had a lot of traction issues on the first one. It feels like it might be a hair quicker. It's hard to say. But that being said, at least at anything, it sounds better. So I'm going to swap on the more baffled mufflers just because they're the newer ones, and then see how it sounds. I figure it's probably going to make about the same power. And since there wasn't much of a difference anyway, I'll just opt to get rid of the drone unless it's significantly quieter. It's going to sound really good, though, once these headers get put on. So that's going to be the next thing that I'll do for this car, and that's going to really make it sound good. So, all right, so I'm going to swap on the other mufflers, do a quick little test, and then this will be the end of this. All right, so that's the end. So those right there were the new mufflers with the new design. You can tell they're a little bit quieter. So all in all, I'm gonna run these because they have a little bit better fitment because the pipes are cut slightly different from the older design versus the newer. And so until I get the headers on there, I'm gonna keep these on. It's definitely louder. Whether it makes it any quicker or not, my butt dyno said maybe, but the Draggy said no. So take it for what it is. I did look back at the times. It looks like there was about a 300 DA difference, so the DA did worsen. So it's really hard to say, but not enough to really quantify, honestly, if it is any quicker. It would be very slightly. So either way, it sounds better. So I'm gonna run with this, and we're gonna get the headers put on this car. I have the trip this coming week, which is gonna be awesome. Super excited about. So thanks for tuning in. Next thing you'll see from me is gonna be hopefully getting this transmission in, because now I have a new GM transmission here. So I'm gonna be putting that in. That's gonna be my project. I'm just getting this car set up for the trip. And then now hopefully on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'll be able to get the trans in. The Z06 will be back running. But I know some people were asking for some Zr-1 content, so there it is. And there you go. Have a good one. Thanks for watching, and motor easy.